am alive, excited, and full of energy this morning, back from a little trip to New York City to do a little mastermind. So that was a lot of fun. What happened on your day away from the Daily Reel? Anybody have something that they want to share? We've got our beloved home inspectors with us today, so we will definitely get to you guys. We will not take up the entire show, but did anybody have anything happen in the real estate world that we just absolutely got to bring to the table today? It is the May market. We did a little bit of economist stuff at the mastermind I was at yesterday in New York, and the market is opening up a little bit. You guys should be doing deals. What's going on those deals? Let's talk through them. Wow. All right. We really took the day off. Man, oh man. I guess John and Todd, you guys are going to get the stage. What do you guys have for us today?
All right. Good morning, everybody. We're going to kind of walk through the exterior of the house and what we look for during that phase. And then we'll open it up to some general questions and some storytelling.
Unless there's any first questions that any agents happen to have at the moment.
Anybody have anything particular for home inspection? Anybody have something happen on an inspection over the past week since these guys were on that was just odd or just a good share for the group? Hey, I was doing a home inspection and this happened.
Or you can share your funniest story of an inspection or the craziest critter story. We always like to hear those.
All right, Stacy, what do you got?
We see bears and snakes and raccoons, and you guys aren't seeing anything. That's great.
I have a crazy story. I don't know what this was, and the inspector didn't know what it was either. It was in a 1972 built condo outside of Boston. And I asked a few different realtors and they had no idea either. It's like a little, it looked like a telephone. To me, it looked like an old fashioned like telephone, like hookup adapter, and it made a buzzing noise and it was shoved into the wall somehow, like that it wasn't really supposed to be there. And the noise went on and off, and it had like a wire that led somewhere to it. And the lady had lived with it, previous lady that was selling had lived with it for like 12 years and said she never had a problem and it just made a noise. It's hilarious. And my buyer doesn't really mind it, but it's like a mystery. We have no idea what it is.
Stacy, do you have
I
a
have
picture?
a video actually. I have a video. I don't know how I would hook the video up though.
Send it to me. Send it to me and
oh, okay, I will.
I can see if I can share it. Chris, you shared something. Is that should I bring that up on the screen or is that
Stacy sent me that.
Oh,
that's from
so that's the link.
Stacy.
All right, let's take a
Oh
look
my God,
at,
how'd she do that?
so let's visit the link. Let's see what happens when I do that.
Oh my God, I hope they know what it is. It was crazy.
Why is it not letting me do that? Copy. Let's try.
It was from I just copied it from my messenger.
Let's see. No. Paste. Oh, maybe I gotta get rid of that. No, that is not working. Stacy, send it to me. I'll let these guys text it to me or something if you can.
Your cell phone?
Yeah, just text my cell and I'll see if I can pull it up on the screen. But
okay.
Let's talk exterior of the home. One of my favorite things on our internal chats is when you guys are at a home inspection and somebody puts a picture in there. Anybody seen one of these? We should start the show on Wednesdays with
Oh,
that.
yeah, I didn't know which chat to put it in. I can do that too. I just texted it to you.
You did. All right. Let me see. I'll get it all teed up. It'll take me a second, but I'll let you guys talk exterior.
Okay. So when we start an inspection, obviously we start introduce ourselves, and I would say, let's start in the exterior. Let's walk around the house. The buyer wants to shadow me. That's wonderful. Or I walk around and go through everything afterwards. But what we're looking for is not necessarily the super obvious, because everybody sees those, the rotted trim, worn paint, that sort of thing. What we're looking very closely for is the foundation. Is the house straight and true? That's one of the easiest things to see from the street. If there is a porch, is it straight? Is it leaning to one side? And then you go through the steps for the front door, handle, railings, and then I work around the house clockwise. So I go to the left and work around the house, and we're looking at the siding, the trim around the windows, the flashing around the windows, and down to the foundation, looking for cracks and movement, settlement, and how the house is handling any water that's being thrown at it, snow, rain, etc. Where is the water going? Is the gutters catching it, or is it just coming down on the ground? And if so, is it graded towards the house, or is it graded away from the house? It's really important to understand what water is doing. And one of my funny things I tell the new home buyers is next time it rains heavy, go put on a hat and a slicker and go outside. You want to know where the water is doing, what the water is doing around the house in the middle of a storm. You can see if the gutters are working, you can see where the water is flowing. Is it flowing towards the house? Is it puddling in the back? They laughed when I mentioned that. I said, but you need to know. So if you have any moisture issues, you know where what possibly could be causing it. And you're never going to find that on a sunny day when you're looking at the gutters. You only know if it works in the middle of a rainstorm. So I asked them to go out, look, know where the water is going, what is the biggest damage to the house, and it's the hardest thing to find and pinpoint. Correct, Jim?
That's correct. That is a huge no-no with your foundation, is that water penetration.
Is once I get to the back of the house, it's just continuing the same, except the decks, and can I get underneath the decks? But again, where's the water going? Is it washing out the footings? Is the deck tilted towards the house, so the water's being backfed into underneath the flashing? And again, it's the siding, it's the trim, it's flashing, it's the top of the windows. Are the gutters leaking, and you can see streaks coming down the side of the house? That sort of thing. And we look very, very carefully. I spend a lot of time on the exterior because that's where most of the damage is coming, either exists or it's coming from the exterior, roof, chimneys, that sort of thing.
I just want to jump in there. One of the things that I felt like I saw a lot at home inspections with regards to decks was the rotting floorboards. But if you guys are seeing that, one thing I just wanted to bring up, because this happened at my own property, and that's why I just triggered when you said decks. Most of the time, the structural supports underneath those floorboards will be okay. You might need to check them out, but in my case, we just ripped those floorboards off. We were able to keep the entire structure, and we ended up going over with new, like a Trex decking type of a surface, put up new railings. So it's not as big of an undertaking. I just thought I'd throw that out there. If you're dealing with a situation with a deck and the floorboards are looking pretty rotted, a lot of times it can be a quicker, cheaper fix if the structure underneath is okay. That's all.
And that is correct. Most of the time the floorboards will rot out way before the structure does because they're exposed. One tip, if you're ripping out the floorboards, and they're regular 5/4 floorboards, and you're replacing them with Trex, that would work. You'll probably notice a little dip in the Trex. Because Trex is supposed to be 12-inch on center, and most decks are 16 inches on center for wood. If you rip up the decking and it's 2x6, very thick wood, then you should replace it in the same, because the structure was built to have a sturdier decking than a lightweight decking. Trex doesn't have any real support to it, so these deck has to support the Trex. It's not really holding the deck together. But yes, the footings, we check all that out, and then the deck boards, I've seen sometimes they can replace just a couple of pieces, but yes, it's an easy thing to rip off the deck, replace the railings, and your structure will be fine, typically.
Any other questions on exterior stuff, or did you guys have any more? Because I kind of jumped in there. Did you have more on exterior?
That's roofs.
So the next major piece, obviously, on the exterior would be the roof. We inspect the roof, put the ladder up, check the gutters. I don't walk the roofs anymore. I drone them and look at the flashings around the chimney and that sort of thing. The chimney is a whole different piece of the inspection, but the focus on the roof, it's how old the shingles are, what type of shingles there are. If you see any lifting, if you see any broken shingles, it's somewhat amazing to me how often I'll be looking at a roof and with binoculars or something like that, and you can see lifting shingles, you can see broken shingles, and everybody gets, oh, the roof is only 15 or 20 years old. Yeah, well, in this particular case, the weather has hit it and it's reached 75% of its service life, so they have to think about it. But we really pay very careful attention to the roof, the flashing, and the chimneys. And again, make sure where the water is going. The other big piece of the roof is getting into the attic and making sure, because I can tell more about the roof from the attic than I can from the exterior due to moisture intrusion, old water stains, especially around the chimney, and whether or not there's any dipping, if there's any movement in the plywood, whether or not it was a cedar roof and stripped off and now it's an asphalt roof, that sort of thing. I've been in houses built 1800s. The cedar roof is still there in the attic, and they have just put asphalt roofs on top. So the next roof repair is going to be to strip everything off and go down to plywood. But from the exterior, it's, again, where's the water going? Follow the water courses down from the crown of the chimney down to the flashing, the roof, gutters, and siding.
Anybody have any other shares regarding home inspection where you were kind of freaked out? Oh man, like we thought we were up against this big item, big repair, and you know what? We thought it was going to be $10,000. Turns out there's this fix for $2,000 or $1,000, or anything coming to mind for anybody that just would be a good share for the group? Because I feel like a lot of times a buyer, and maybe John, Todd, you guys could share something, and the buyer is freaking out, oh my God, when actually there's a pretty easy fix, or some new technology or something along those lines. Anything coming to mind for anybody?
I mean, everyone kind of freaks out about the sewer mains as of late. There is a lot of new technology around that as far as replacing those. So the old tried and true method was you just dig it all up, which scares the crap out of people because they think they're going to have to go through softscape, hardscape, and tear everything up. But there's new stuff called pipe bursting technology that'll pull a fused pipe as long as you want. And then you make all the connections and tie-ins as you go. And then there's pipe sleeving, it's called cured in place pipe. And I'm not a big proponent of that, but that's less than digging it all the way up. So, with pipe bursting, it's probably $75 a foot. Without pipe bursting or pipelining, it's probably $125 a foot. So that's a pretty good chunk. But, everything is fixable. But people kind of freak out about, these bigger ticket items when, yeah, as Steve said, once you drill into it, it's not that big of a deal.
And Trina is just putting in here, just always getting multiple estimates, I think, is the way to go. Because you just never know. I swear sometimes it's just how busy is the contractor, right?
Right.
They're having a slow week or a slow month. All of a sudden, there's $500 shaved off the invoice. So, get a few different estimates, get a few different solutions on how you're going to fix the problem. Right? Look at alternate solutions. There's not always just one way to fix whatever issue you're up against. I do have this video, and I don't know if the audio is going to come through, but
Your sound is off, Steve.
let's see.
We heard the noise, but couldn't hear see the video.
That's all it is. It's just the buzzing noise. I don't know if it's coming through or not.
Trying to expand it.
Yeah, I can't expand it,
Oh,
but I can, that's your best shot right there.
Yeah. Continues to be a mystery.
Yeah, it's like a square box that's not supposed to be like kind of placed in that hole, and it's just sitting there. It looks like it's just been there forever, like decades. Whatever's
I'm
in
going
it-
with old doorbell.
door. Yeah, I thought that too. I pushed, and it could be. We actually tried the doorbell, and that's totally.
What
It's like
about
there's another.
what about an intercom system?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. All right,
Chat-
I'll let.
ChatGPT's eyes suggest that it might be a ceiling-mounted electrical junction box
Oh my God, you chat. Oh my God, you and your
Yeah.
AI, Steve.
for a light fixture or other use. I don't know that that's what that is, but does kind of look like a mounted
The intercom
electrical
thing is
box.
good.
The buzzing noise is odd. I don't know. You guys couldn't hear that buzzing, but
Can you send it to my
yeah,
cell?
yeah. I'll send it to you.
Oh yeah, send it to him.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and then we'll look at it.
yeah.
Thank you.
My money's on intercom. Let's take some action.
It's funny when people are like, I don't care, I love the place. And I'm like, so do I. It's so cute. It's perfect for you. And I'm like, we don't know what that is though.
We
Yeah.
couldn't stand it.
Sometimes I've noticed I'm an electronics technician as well as a real estate agent, but I've noticed a lot of times that houses like that, sometimes they used to have an entry system from the front of the condo or whatever that particular building is. And you would buzz the door and they could talk to you and let you in, that kind of a thing. I wonder if it's something like that.
Yeah, like an intercom thing.
Yeah, an intercom where you say, "Hey, who's at the door?" and you push a button and they come in, or you can talk to them from the front door, that kind of thing.
Okay, so that's 2 for intercom. So I'm gonna.
It's in the basement though, isn't it, Stacy?
Yeah, from the kitchen down into the basement.
Could be
From-
where the buzzer is, but that's kind of weird.
From the kitchen down into
It might have
the
been somewhere else because it looked like it was like shoved in there. It's literally like a little square box shoved into a circle in the, like someone just
That
Mickey
does
Mouse,
sound kind of like a junction box.
old fashioned mystery.
So Stacy,
Oh,
that buzzing just is
transformer.
constant.
It's a transformer.
That's what it is. That's
We
a
were close,
transformer.
Paul. We were close.
There's a transformer for the
Everyone's frozen. now.
doorbell. Maybe.
So transformers sometimes make a very low buzzing sound. But that's what I'm looking at. It's a low voltage transformer. And the other thing it could be, if it's tied to the phone system, is a separate ringer. So if the phones rang in the house, old landlines, this would be a separate bell for it or tone.
Just clip it and move on.
Yeah, that's
That's
cap,
fun.
Rip it out.
cap it.
Yes, yes.
I'll let her know all the suggestions. Thank you.
It could be.
I'll let you know when I if I find out.
Please text me your weird home inspection finds so we can do some deep dives on Wednesdays. We should do one every Wednesday. What else is going on? Somebody's got to have something going on a deal. Come on, bring me something. Let's fix something. Let's solve something. What are we struggling with? Who's got a wacky client? Man. Well, I will. I got a video teed up here that I want to play. I've been trying to get to. I think it's a really. Well, let me just play it and then we'll chat about it. Let me share this. Hopefully the audio works.
Steve,
It's a
we need
little-
to jump off, so we'll see you next week.
Okay, sounds great. Thanks,
See you
guys.
next week, group. Thank you.
Thank you.
What is the one spy trick? What is the one spy trick you would teach everyone?
You guys got the audio on this one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Spy
Yep.
tricks. Come on now. Let's get. This is the sexy stuff.
One that they can use to improve their life instantly.
The most important spy trick to change everything immediately is something called perception versus perspective. We all look at the world through our own perception, but perception is your interpretation of the world around you. But it's unique only to you. There's no advantage in your perception. That's why so many people find themselves arguing all the time, trying to convince other people of their own perception. The way that you win any argument, the way that you get ahead in your career, the way that you outsell or outrace anybody is when you move off of perception and move into perspective. When you shift places and get out of your own perception and into someone else's perspective, now you're thinking like them, which is giving you an informational advantage. But you know what they're all doing? Everyone else out there is trapped in their own perception, not thinking about a different perspective. So immediately you have superior information, superior positioning, you have an advantage that they don't have. And if you do that to your boss, it's gonna change your career. If you do that to your spouse, it's gonna change your marriage. If you do that to your kids, it's gonna change your family legacy because nobody else out there is doing it.
What is the one spy trick you would
So I thought this one was pretty interesting. I'm not saying it's easy to do, but I think we even do it on this call a lot, where we're talking about how the heck could that buyer back out of that situation, or how the heck could that buyer react like they did? How did that agent react like they did? And it's definitely their perspective of that situation versus your perspective of that situation, right? And it's trying to figure out how can we exit our own perspective and just try and look at the whole scenario and think, why might they be acting like that? What could have happened today to them, yesterday to them, this week, this month, in their childhood, that could be affecting the way that they see whatever just transpired. So it's kind of deep stuff, but it's also like, it's pretty basic. But whenever you're frustrated with how something is going, how somebody's reacting, I think most people are doing the best that they can with the information that they have. But the series of events, whether they're 30, 40, 50 years old, that led up to that determines how they are going to react to that situation. It's wild stuff. I was listening to a neurobiologist on a podcast the other day. I see your hand, Lori. I will get to it. That talked about our brain being a predictive brain. I think most of us think that we are reacting to a situation. What our brain is actually doing in fractions of a millisecond is predicting what is about to happen. We are constantly predicting. This is why you're getting nervous about something before it even happens. That is the way that our brains operate. We are consistently trying to predict a millisecond ahead what's going to happen. If you're in a conversation, you've ever caught yourself thinking about a response before, that's your brain getting really far ahead of you. You're not even listening to the conversation. You're trying to predict, I think I know what they're already going to say, and I'm already trying to think about how I'm going to rebut it instead of just trying to pull yourself back, really listen, take it in, then make your decision. Lori.
So this kind of has to do with inspections and perspective. It just came to my mind. It was a past client I had. So, we have a home inspection on this house. It was a great house, and there was a mouse in a mouse trap. And of course, we live in New England, and there's mice everywhere. It's just a part of, this area. So she hyperventilated. She had a complete nervous breakdown. Her husband had to take her outside. She backed out of the house over this mouse in a trap. So that was the one thing. So her perspective, she has a phobia of mice. I didn't know. The house she winds up buying, I shit you not, was infested with bats in the attic, and it didn't bother her. So we had to get wildlife out there. It was a whole situation, but her perspective was she had this fear of mice. And then, here she goes and buys a house that's infested with bats, and she was okay with it. So it's like, that was her perspective. It was wild, but, and it was a wild situation for a home inspection to deal with bats. So, everybody has a different version of what they're comfortable with and what they're not comfortable with. I mean, how many times have we all seen mice in a house? But for her, it was a serious problem. So just perspective in a weird home inspection situation there.
That's a great share, Lori. What a great way to kind of wrap that all together. Yeah, and it's buyers, it's sellers, it's agents, it's your friends, it's your colleagues, it's your coworkers, it's your significant other, it's your kids, right? And so all of these little interactions are just building up subconscious. And then your brain is then trying to use all of those experiences to predict the next millisecond of your life, consistently just trying to predict based on your experiences, which is why we all have such a different experience, and that we could be in the same room having the same conversation and we each saw it completely different. So just something to think about. Definitely an area where I think you can go pretty deep and really help your relationships, I think, if you can get this right. Like I said, not easy to do, but give it some thought. Try and slow down a little bit, and maybe try and see where they are coming from. So it was great to be back with you guys again. I hope you guys have an awesome Wednesday, and we will do this again tomorrow morning. Take care.
Thank you. Have a great day.